Hello, YouTube friends and subscribers. The reason why you're seeing this video like this, one, I figured it'd probably be better just to start doing videos like this, because it's easier for me to use my phone than my computer. Plus, the picture quality probably gets a little better. I might go back and forth every once in a while and do videos with, being able to see who's talking. But I figured I would just do kind of videos like this because it makes it a lot easier. As you can see on the video, the movie in front of you, I'm doing a review of the Toxic Avenger. Now, this is the complete Toxic Avenger, the DVD set that came out. I believe it was in 2000. Let me see if it says on here. 2005, I think it was. But yeah, it contains all 4 films and the complete Toxic Crusaders cartoon. Now, I don't think, as far as I know, they have ever put a box set like this out on Blu-ray. Now, I do know you can probably... I know you can get the first 3 movies on Blu-ray. I'm not sure about the 4th. Now, the Toxic Crusaders, I don't think is available on Blu-ray yet. But I like this set because you can watch all the films and all the cartoon, the whole cartoon series, which is actually like 13 episodes. It was like 1 season. But it's a really cool set. Not only do you have the little slip cover in the front that just comes right off, but you got, like, that's the front of it, and then you got all 4 different incarnations of Toxic Avenger. And then here's the set, which on the back side, I don't know if you can look at that with kind of a glare, but there's the Toxic Avenger's face right there. Now, the discs inside go like this. So you got the first movie, then you have the second movie, then you have the third movie, and the 4th movie. I can't show the last disc because it has nudity on it, but maybe I can cover it up. But this is the second disc of the first movie, which is like the making of the whole film. But yeah, that's a really cool set. And then, as you can tell, you can get the complete Toxic Crusaders, all 13 episodes of the cartoon series. It's a really cool set. I mean, I was really glad when I got this set. I think it was like $40 when I paid for it. I got it at Best Buy. Then it comes with a card of a recreation of many different movie posters. Then it comes in the back. It shows a little bit of what's on it and talks about some of the films. But yeah, basically the Toxic Avenger movies are owned by Troma Entertainment, which, Troma has been around for many years prior to this. But Toxic Avenger was the movie that put them on the map. And the first movie was made in 1984. It didn't get a very big release until 1985. And then it came out on VHS in 1986. My rating of Toxic Avenger has always been 8, because the Toxic Avenger is probably my favorite of the Troma film movies. It has a lot of humor in it. It's got a lot of gore in it. It's got some outrageous craziness going out throughout the film. Of course, if you're a fanatic who likes sex and nudity, it does have that. But yeah, all in all, it's a really great, fun film if you're into, like, low-budget craziness films. And this has definitely got that right up to the mark. And what's also cool about it is that the Toxic Avenger is he's hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. And he's the first one from New Jersey. But he falls in love with a blind woman, which she also shows up in the second and third. Now, when he has the girlfriend that he has in the 4th movie, she can actually see again, because if you watch the 3rd movie, his girlfriend gets eyesight back. Now, in the first Toxic Avenger, his girlfriend was named Sarah. Now, when it comes into the 2nd and 3rd, his girlfriend is named Claire. But, and Toxic Avenger 4, if I'm correct, I think his girlfriend's name was different too. I've only seen Toxic Avenger 4 like 3 times. It's not my favorite of the series. But the first Toxic Avenger has got some funny one-liners and stuff, and you got what's the craziness about it is the only weapon that the Toxic Avenger really has is a mop, and he can jump really high out of the way and stuff like that. But he doesn't have like weapons and have like how would I say, like can run at the speed of a bullet or outrun a train or anything like that. But you got to take what Trauma did for the Toxic Avenger. You got to take what they did, and you got to realize that for what they had, the budget they had, and everything, it was a really great, fun film. I mean, I would definitely consider it to anybody who hasn't seen Toxic Avenger, but not too many people who enjoy the horror genre have not seen this. Now, the second Toxic Avenger Part 2, takes place in mostly in the beginning in Tromaville, where that's pretty much the whole series is in Tromaville. Is the second part takes place. The first part of the movie takes place in Tromaville, and then he goes to Japan to find his father, which is called Big Mac. So you've definitely got the references to food in the films. You've got all kinds of craziness going on. You've got sumo wrestling scene. You got people being chased in a sumo bath. But yeah, it's just like the first one. There is nudity in that as well. Now, the second one, I like the second one, and I give it an 8.5. I give it a little half of a star more than the Toxic Avenger because I've enjoyed it and have seen it a lot more than the first movie. And it's just like a continuation of the first film, just with a higher budget. And because, I think it was distributed by Warner Brothers, distributed 2 and 3 to the video market. And I believe it might have been released overseas. Now, it was made in 1989, but a lot of audiences didn't get to see it until 1990 because I think they had some release problems with it getting released here in the United States. I'm not sure how that all worked out, but Toxic Avenger Part 2 has a great performance by Phoebe Legere, who plays Claire, the blind girl in the movie, and she ends up playing in Toxic Avenger 3. She's still doing her shtick that she did in the film as today, and she's a great, beautiful actress that doesn't get as much recognition as she should, and it's sad. But she is a New York actress, and she still does like plays, and she has like a group where she is a singer. She really is a singer. I think she believes she sings in this one or the third one, or both. You also have Rick Collins, who plays the evil guy. The evil from Apocalypse Incorporated is what the bad guy is. He also played in the first Toxic Avenger, but he's not really seen. You have to look really closely because he's only seen like one scene. Oh, by the way, before I go into finish the review of the second movie, the first movie, the Toxic Avenger, actually has a very small part of actress Marissa Tomei. She is in one little scene that you have to pause it correctly, and you can see her in the background. That was just, like I said, that was 1984, so I think that might have been her first or second film. Excuse me. Now, the second movie, you had, other than, there was 2 guys that played Toxie, Ron Fazio and John Altamira, and I believe it was John Altamira who passed away recently, like a couple years ago or something. Ron Fazio did a great performance. So did John Altamira. The guy who played Toxic in Part 1 was Mitchell Cohen. Now, he shows up in the deleted scene that they had, which the special features that they have on these discs is really cool. Now, there's a lot of, crazy trauma features that you have to see it's better to see it than talk about it, but they have a lot of crazy special features that normally are just outright nuts. But there is some deleted scenes, and Part 2 is no exception. Now, and then in 1990, 1 is when Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, was released. It was actually made this, and like I said, 2 and 3 were actually made back to back. Now, these are the director's cut of Toxic Avenger 2, which it doesn't say it, but it is, and then the unrated director's cut of Part 3. But Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, to me, was what could have been, and to me should have been, the last Toxic Avenger. It actually has the same craziness as the second film and the first film in it, and it all, it was all like kind of like the late 80s, early 90s, like craziness trauma films. Because right after this, they had done Class of Nukem High in the 80s, and then they did Class of Nukem High 2 and 3. So, hold on 1 second. Just need to get a drink here. But, yeah, so Toxic Avenger Part 3, to me, was my favorite of the series. I give it an 8.5, almost 9. Probably like an 8.75. But Toxic Avenger Part 3, the reason I like it so much is that it goes from, like, the first movie, and it continues on from the second film, and Claire finally gets to see what Toxic Avenger, who Toxie is, what he looks like, and she's not gone nuts. She loves how he looks. It also shows that Toxie is actually turning kind of bad, because he falls in with Apocalypse Incorporated, and you actually see that Rick Collins, who played in the second one, he ends up playing the third one, and he ends up playing the devil. Now, Toxie's mother was played by Jessica Dublin from in 2 and 3, and she did a great performance as the mother. Now, the woman that played in the first movie, I can't remember her name, but it was a totally different actress. She did good too. But Toxic Avenger Part 3, I like it so because of the craziness that goes on in the film. It's hilarious, especially the beginning of the movie. It's in the video store. You actually see like a whole video store, and most of the posters on the wall and the VHS tapes on the shelves are pretty much almost all of the Tromaville movies. If you look and pause closely, you actually see some other kind of films that aren't Tromaville movies, but it's really cool to see Troma video store. And but Toxic Avenger, before I get to the fourth one, the first, second, and third, out of my rating for the first 3 movies, definitely gets an 8.5. If you mixed the ratings all together, I would give it an 8.5 for the complete first 3 films. They're fun films. You can laugh. You can shake your head. There's just craziness going on in the film. Now, when we get to the fourth film, Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4, was made in 99 and didn't get released until 2000 certain places, and then 2001 and others. I didn't see the Toxic Avenger Part 4 until 2005, which I think this is when the set came out. It's 2005. And I tell you, I didn't like it. I still don't like it today. I give it a 6, and that's just being fair to my standards of a film. If you like craziness and farts and people taking dumps on each other and craziness, sexual window, have at it. Even Corey Feldman makes an appearance in this. And you also have Scream Queens Julie Strain and Debbie Rochon. I don't know. I just didn't care too much for Toxic Avenger, Citizen Toxie. It's my worst of the series. For me, I'd watch the first 3, skip the 4th. Now, if you are a completist, it's definitely worth getting in, and you are a big Troma-tite, you will also enjoy this film. I'm a big Troma fan and a big Troma fanatic. I love a lot of their films. But this was the worst of the series, and it's sad that they didn't get to make a 5th Toxic Avenger, and we may never even see a Toxic Avenger remake. But for me, the first 3 films are the better of the series. If I put the 4th one in with the third movies, and as of a whole, I would give the total a 9 for the complete Toxic Avenger series of films. I would give it a 9 for all 4 films, even though I didn't care too much for Toxic Avenger 4. Now the cartoon series that came on, for me, it came on USA, which USA on Saturday, or Sunday, I believe it was Sunday, USA had a cartoon channel, cartoons lineup. It was called the Cartoon Express. They had a bunch of different cartoons, and Toxic Crusaders was one of them. So this came out in 1991, some places in 92. It was a great cartoon. It's not as gore and craziness, and doesn't have a lot of nudity. It doesn't have any nudity. There's no nudity, no cussing. It's basically child's film using the Toxic Avenger, or Toxie, as a cartoon hero. Now it has a bunch of different, he meets a bunch of different friends, and he comes in contact with other people that have other, who also are hideously deformed creatures. I'll just say that. Now this is the inside of it. And I actually, when this came out, they started putting out a merchandise for Toxic Avenger. They had the Toxic Crusader figures. You had a bunch of the characters in the back. You had some vehicles. You had the bad guy. The bad guy in it was Dr. Killomoff. Now, the one thing that I will say is there's one character name was a voice in the cartoon. His Michael J. Pollard, which he sadly passed away last year, but he's a voice in this. Also, one of my favorite characters other than Toxie in this was, I don't remember his name, but he was the dog, the junkyard dog one. Yeah, I liked his character. Now, I had every single character except for the mayor. I didn't have him, and there was a couple of vehicles I didn't know. Just a side note, the first Toxic Avenger, the mayor that plays in the first Toxic Avenger was played by R.L. Ryan, or Ron Ryan. I'm not sure exactly what his full name is, but he passed away in 91, right before this had came out. But he played in the first movie, and if you've known, he's a obese, heavy guy, and he played in other films, Mannequin, Street Trash, Eat and Run, and his performance in that was over the top craziness. But when they get to the cartoon, he resembles a lot of the guy from the first movie. Now, I think it might be a different guy. It's been a while since I've seen the cartoons. But all in all, Toxic Crusader is a great cartoon to sit down and watch with your kids. Like I said, there's no violence. There's violence, it's cartoon violence. But there's no nudity, no cussing, no sexual innuendo, no blood, all that kind of stuff. But basically, another thing I wanted to say is when this came out, I collected all the figures. Some of them I still have today. And then they had the Toxic Crusaders and Toxic Avenger comic book that were released by Marvel Comics around that time. At one point, I had every issue of the Toxic Avenger and every issue of the Toxic Crusaders. Over time, magazines can get tore up, or deteriorate, or whatever. But the majority of them I sold to a friend for a good amount of money, which I wish I didn't. But anyway, this is the Toxic Avenger and Toxic Crusader complete set. If you haven't bought it, definitely get a chance. Buy it. Maybe still good priced today. They should put this complete one out on Blu-ray. If they do, I'll upgrade to that. But anyway, I appreciate and thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. Even though as time goes by and you don't do videos every day, every other day, or whatever, people tend to say, well, this guy's not going to keep coming back. And I lose 3 subscribers. That's fine. I've got 343 that enjoy my videos. They may not comment, they may not like the videos, but obviously they love the videos enough to keep subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, and a little update on my knee. My knee surgery went really well. Just today, my eyes bothering me really bad, and I didn't want to do a video where my eyes keep I keep playing with my eyes and all that. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy your rest of your weekend and rest of the week, and enjoy this video. Please leave comments, and like always, give this a thumbs up, and hit that star button, that bell button, and then that way you can get notified whenever I do another video. Now, I do plan on doing another video, and it's probably going to be this Friday, since I'm going to be off work until the 23rd of this month. I'm going to try to do another video Friday, and then I'm going to do 2 or 3 videos next week. So, yeah, so thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on the next review.